Jim goes back to war in Detective Comics issue 51. In Gotham City, a man runs frantically down the street, running from a man following him. Elsewhere, Jim arrives home after buying groceries, finding the man waiting for him. The man, named Berenger, talks with him in an alleyway, saying he needs Jim's help. Berenger says that the thing they buried out in the desert is back. He says that the rest of their old Marine squad are dead. The man attacks both of them in the name of Alman Set. Jim easily disarms the man, arresting him, but the man has managed to kill Berenger before Jim could stop him. As the police arrive, the killer swallows a poison pill, killing himself. The next day, Jim thinks over the previous night's events and what his friend said to him. Finding his marine dog tags, he puts them on and heads to the GCPD, where he looks over the killer's body with Rose, the mortician. Rose says that she found flesh missing from the guy's back and legs, all of which contain trace elements of poisons. She says that there were also no fingerprints or DNA on the man, so they don't know who he is. Going home, Jim pulls out all his old army gear, calling one of his squad mates' wives, finding out that they were all killed, just as Berenger said. He packs up his bags and bat suit and heads out to find what happened in the desert. Arriving in Afghanistan, Jim meets Master Sergeant Naroda, who takes him to a small squad he's assembled from Jim's remaining friends. The squad fill him in on their run-ins with the cult in the desert, and how they were calling for retribution. Later that night, Jim dons his bat costume and sneaks into the commanding officer's quarters, going through his files. Finding a list of the missing soldiers, Jim thinks that Stone is either covering them up or someone is stopping him from talking. The next day, Jim asks around about the missing soldiers, finding out that everyone was transferred off of base before they went missing. Eddie tells him that Stone is heading into town, and the last time that happened was when one of the Marines disappeared. In town, Stone meets with an acolyte of Set, who says that Set is displeased with the interlopers that are still alive. Stone says that they are moving too quickly with their plans and he can't keep up and everything is becoming suspicious. He warns the man that Jim is back and they can't kill him, seeing as that he's too high profile back in Gotham. Jim arrives, asking his old CO if he can join them, prompting the man to attack Jim with a knife. Apprehending the man, Stone shoots him in the head. Jim says that if he's gonna stop the cult, he will need some transports, but Stone warns him, saying that they will come after him, but Jim just kicks him in the face, leaving. That night, Jim goes to the Stone's quarters dressed as Batman and interrogates him about Set, getting all the information he needs. Heading into the desert, Jim uses the information Stone gave him to locate the cult and call Daryl and Julia from Gotham, who freak out after learning where he is. Thanks to a sandstorm, Jim's Jeep rolls over, cutting communications with them. Recovering under the rolled Jeep, Jim says that he's okay and the last time he found the cult, he was trapped by a sandstorm. Daryl and Julia ask him to tell them the story about the cult. Jim says that long ago his squad was trapped by a sandstorm and they stumbled onto a cave containing a temple where ritual killings were happening. So yeah, kind of a new arc for Detective Comics. It's a pretty interesting one, going a bit into Gordon's past as a Marine, which I think is pretty cool. I really know a lot about that. Like, I obviously know that in a lot of adaptations he was like in the army before he joined GCPD and everything, but I don't really know a lot about that, so it's really cool that we're getting this flashback sort of storyline. Also, this comic was rather violent. Like, usually in comics, at least everyday comics, you know, like something say like a Batman comic like this one is, they usually go easy on the violence, like as in seeing someone getting stabbed and there's blood and everything, or they have to make the blood a different color like black, or it's done like in silhouette or something. Here we see guys getting like shot in the head and there's like blood and guts everywhere, and you know the last panel shows all these people being gutted and everything, and it's pretty brutal, and I didn't think they could really get away with that, but again it sort of fits the whole thing of the book where it's like detective, you know, stories, and that sort of stuff would happen in these stories. But yeah, I'm really interested. I like to think that Batman, he's like running around on like this military base and something. That's really cool. I really like that, and I like that Jim still uses the Batman costume as a form of interrogation. Like maybe he couldn't get all the information he wants, so he dresses up as Batman. And he even says in this, like, that Batman, this whole Batman interrogation thing is actually works pretty well. Pretty cool. I really enjoyed this issue. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.